Renegade Immortal, Chapter 604, 10 Years of Enlightenment. The Tao transforms into the Underworld. Hello, welcome back to my channel, Books with AR. It was not false that 100,000 demon soldiers could destroy an Ascendant cultivator, but only if this Ascendant cultivator wasn't Wang Lin. When a normal Ascendant cultivator meets 100,000 demon soldiers, although they can use spells to kill them, the 100,000 demon soldiers can battle the Ascendant cultivator by fusing their demonic spiritual energy into one and creating a formation. But at this moment, Wang Lin was so crazy that he wasn't even afraid of death, so how would he mind these demon soldiers? His celestial slaughter art required slaughter to create more slaughter energy. At this moment, Wang Lin's origin soul was being stimulated by the celestial ascension fruit, and he had a large amount of celestial spiritual energy in his body, so how could he be stopped by 100,000 demon soldiers? If there were 5 times more demon soldiers, Wang Lin would definitely be defeated, but he would not lose when facing only 100 of them. Slaughter energy charged through the demon soldiers like crazy. As the tragic screams came from the demon soldiers, their demonic spiritual energy gathered to form the image of a scorpion. The scorpion was made of demonic spiritual energy and had a very large body. The scorpion's tail looked like it could shatter space itself when it attacked. The middle-aged man on the wall had a gloomy expression as he said, "Go and kill this person." The demon generals beside him all charged out toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin immediately noticed more than 10 strands of killing intent coming at him. He quickly moved and pointed his right pinky forward. Underworld Finger. This Underworld Finger was used with Ascendant level cultivation. One finger to summon the Underworld. After his domain and origin soul fused, this finger represented the changes of life and death. The moment the finger appeared, countless flashes of lightning appeared across the sky, and a large river suddenly appeared in the air. This river was cloudy, with countless remnants and limbs flowing within it. There were also countless ghosts struggling within, and many different human faces could be seen within the water. As Wang Lin waved his pinky, large waves were created inside the river and descended from the sky. It came down like a flood and trapped all living things within it. As the water from the underworld fell from the sky became cloudy, and the life and death domain was activated. This underworld river was something he comprehended in the 10 years it took for his origin soul and domain to fuse. This river did not belong to the heavens, it was formed by Wang Lin, and only he controlled it. He had comprehended the heavens reincarnation cycle, and during those 10 years of enlightenment, he used the Underworld Finger to create this endless underworld river. The moment the demon generals charged out, they were washed away by the underworld river that descended from the sky and trapped by it. Bursts of exclamations came from the demon generals. They just couldn't believe that the youth before them was this strong. One spell was able to entrap most of the demon generals. Although they couldn't completely see through the spell, a few were able to see some clues. The middle-aged man on the wall's face changed like it never had before. He unconsciously took a few steps back and revealed a look of disbelief. This isn't possible. This person is only an Ascendant cultivator, but has such a terrifying Tao that he has already created his own underworld. This kind of cultivation has already reached the second step of reaching the edge of the heavens Tao. Making his own reincarnation cycle with the underworld river formed by his own Tao was the biggest harvest he had in the last 10 years of defying the heavens. But this Tao was still only a vague concept in Wang Lin's mind. After all, 10 years of comprehension was still too little. However, he was currently being stimulated by the celestial ascension fruit, and he had a large amount of celestial spiritual energy in his body. So how could he be stopped by 100,000 demon soldiers? This was the most important step in his life as a cultivator so far. Once he takes this step, he will truly have his own Tao. From that moment on, he will no longer cultivate the heavens, the earth, the infants, or the gods. He will become a Taoist. someone who cultivates Tao. The Underworld River swept across the group and carried more than 10 demon soldiers back with it. The demon generals trapped inside the Underworld River struggled like crazy. Their combined struggle was very powerful and even caused the newly formed Underworld River to loosen a bit. Wang Lin's eyes became red as he turned into shadow and entered the Underworld River. Once he entered the Underworld River, it became as stable as Mount Tai. Anyone who wishes to kill me will be trapped in my Underworld River. This is my own reincarnation cycle that isn't controlled by the heavens. Wang Lin's voice spread out his Tao. It fused into the Underworld River and turned into reincarnation power. The Underworld River rolled back and disappeared from the world, and the more than 10 demon generals disappeared with it. The scorpion formed by the demon soldiers also collapsed. As the 30,000 strands of slaughter energy moved through, they carried back with them strands of gray gas. These strands all rushed toward Wang Lin, who was slowly walking toward the city. It looked like the gray gas was a giant cloak on Wang Lin's back. This cloak was so big that it covered the earth. The expression of the middle-aged man on the wall became pale and his throat felt dry. He kept backing up as he felt like he had no power to resist the man before him. My covetation level is the same as this person's. Both of us are at the early stage of Ascendant. This person is seriously injured, so I was originally 100% confident in killing him, but now I'm not even 10% confident. This person already has his own Tao, and that underworld river is too terrifying. The demon emperor has harmed me by making me stay here. The middle-aged man clenched his teeth and began to retreat like crazy. He didn't hesitate at all as he took out a black fist-sized beast bone and crushed it. The moment the beast bone shattered, a strand of black gas came out of it. The black gas quickly surrounded the middle-aged man and teleported him away. This black bone was a very precious item that could teleport someone directly back to the capital. Only the commander-in-chiefs and vice-commanders-in-chiefs had them. Wang Lin's eyes were extremely red. He waved his hand and the 100,000 demon soldiers turned into 100,000 strands of slaughter energy. Adding on the 30,000 from before, 130,000 strands of slaughter energy charged out. At the moment the middle-aged man disappeared, the 130,000 strands of slaughter energy quickly caught up. There was a very luxurious transfer array in the capital of the fire demon country that only commanders-in-chiefs and vice-commanders-in-chiefs could use. The head steward of the fire demon country was silently cultivating next to the array. He suddenly opened his eyes and revealed a smile as the transfer array activated. He knew that a commander-in-chief or vice-commander-in-chief had returned. I wonder who returned. He stood up and turned around to look at the formation. However, his expression immediately changed. He stared at the formation and was completely dumbfounded. As the formation lit up, a withered mummy fell from the void. The mummy's eyes were still open and filled with reluctance. The death of a vice commander-in-chief was a big deal for any of the countries in the demon spirit land. The angry roar of the fire demon emperor echoed throughout the entire capital. Search. Find who that cultivator is and kill him. I don't care what his identity is. I want him dead. As Wang Lin left the city at the border between the fire demon country and the sky demon country, he took with him 100,000 strands of slaughter energy. The power of the celestial ascension fruit in his body was still going strong. Not only had the killing not lowered his battle end, it caused it to increase even more. His killing intent also increased. He turned into a ferocious meteor as he charged toward the location where he sensed the source of the attacks. In the past several days, that cold snort never appeared again. Wang Lin's body had already recovered, thanks to all of the life force he had taken from the earth. In fact, his body was reaching its peak with all of the slaughter energy. In the black tower in the ancient battleground, there was a ghostly light flickering inside the armor that was missing a wrist guard, and an old man was kneeling before the armor. This old man was wearing all black. He was the person that saved Hu Pa. I'll give you 3 pieces of the demonic armor. Stop him. He is not allowed to step foot onto this ancient battleground. As the divine sense message echoed in the tower, a wrist guard, chest piece, and shoulder guard flew off the armor. The moment the three pieces of armor flew out, they turned into black threads that drilled into the old man's clothes. The threads moved through the old man's skin and quickly appeared all over his body. The threads constantly moved, and when they eventually stopped, a set of black armor appeared over the old man. This armor was simple, but there was a monstrous amount of devilish energy coming from it. An arm-sized illusion appeared from the devilish energy. This illusion was a shadow with a single horn, exactly the same as the creature Wang Lin destroyed. The moment it appeared, it entered the old man's forehead. The old man seemed to be enduring a great deal of pain. His veins all over his body swelled up, and his cries of pain spread far into the distance. After a long time, the old man's body trembled. Then his eyes revealed a devilish light, and he respectfully said, "This devil servant obeys. Go." The ghostly light from the armor was very dim. The divine sense message it gave out revealed it was tired. The old man no longer spoke. He stood up and walked out of the tower, then looked into the distance, and after pondering a bit, he shouted, "Demon guardians, come out." After he said that, a huge gust of wind appeared over the entire ancient battleground. This wind was extremely cold and felt like it could freeze the ground it blew by. The demonic wind circled around the old man and turned into a woman wearing armor. There was a tattoo on her face that covered her whole body. However, due to her armor, parts of the tattoo were blocked. After she appeared, she knelt down on one knee and softly said, "Demon Guardian Wind Song, present." If Wang Lin was here, she would notice that this woman was very similar to Demon General Xian. Shortly after, the earth trembled, and there were series of explosions. The ground 100 feet before the old man suddenly exploded, and a completely black arm reached out. A very lean old man climbed out from the ground. He was on all fours like some kind of wild beast. He turned his head to look at the old man and grinned. "Demon Guardian Earth Devil, present." At this moment, soul fragments filled the horizon, and waves of ghostly wails could be heard. These soul fragments formed a giant black cloud that covered the sky. There were no less than 100 million soul fragments within the black cloud. The black cloud formed a cone shape, and below it, a sullen-looking young man was slowly walking over. The roars of the large amount of soul fragments behind him echoed across the area. "Demon Guardian Hu Pa, present."